Ready for this figure? Yeah! Okay, excellent. So guys, I have the pleasure to introduce Tanys Coughlan, who is a HR specialist and a Reiki Master, and she's here to share with us her journey towards authenticity. Please welcome Tanys.
I want to talk to you about authenticity. That's what I decided to discuss. Because my journey has a lot of that with it. So for me, authenticity has three components, right? We need to do self-reflection. We need to have the courage to be authentic and put ourselves out there. And we have to take action. So for me, this whole exercise is very much stepping out, having the courage to do it. I've done a lot of teaching in various venues and stuff, but public speaking in this way is new for me. When I started doing some self-reflection on my journey, I realized that this was actually following my steps for authenticity. So I thank you, Michael, for helping me on my journey, and I thank all of you for being here to share my journey. So Michael asked me to speak because we were talking at a wedding, and he didn't realize that I had been diagnosed with fibromyalgia when I was 21. I actually, right out of university, I was in a car accident, and I had whiplash basically like from here up. I think originally that's what started the fibro. And if you guys aren't familiar with fibro, it feels a lot like having the flu, the aches and pains of the flu all the time, and the headaches. And there's also the emotional component, the depression and the anxiety that goes along with it. So I went through university. I ended up working as a home support worker. During my home support worker times, I ended up with a job injury. I actually had not been diagnosed yet with fibro, but they say that accidents and stuff perpetuate or bring it on, right? So I had back pain all the way through university, but hadn't been diagnosed. I had an injury at work where I pulled all the ligaments and stuff and tendons in my shoulders, rotator cuff injuries. That should typically take about 6 weeks to heal. Now 6 months I was still off. So I ended up getting diagnosed at that time with fibromyalgia. I did end up going back to doing homemaking until it became really emotionally and physically draining. I couldn't do the job anymore. Although I found it really very rewarding to be helping clients along the way with their healing. So that was always been a passion of mine. After that, I ended up taking administrative jobs. I was working in the office at the homemaking agency that I was working with. And then I ended up at the Community Care Access Center, which is like the watchdog of home care funds. So I was doing just administrative stuff there, and I ended up doing a lot of sort of extra things to keep the job interesting for myself. During that time, my husband got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. We also had a young son at that time. So I had to actually think about our future. My husband wasn't able to work anymore after his diagnosis. So I had to increase my earning potential. I decided at that time to go back to school. I had my university degree, but I felt I needed more hands-on skills, right? Decided to go and take my HR management certificate. Added to that, I ended up doing my basically client management certificate as well. During that, I was also working full-time. I was the mom, I was the daughter, my mom was aging. I was also the wife, caregiver. I also was involved in theater at that time. So it was a very busy lifestyle, high stress. I ended up getting a management position with another homemaking agency. During that time, the hours increased. I had to work more hours just to be able to manage the team. I had a team of about 17 direct reports. And of course, that was direct reports. I had about 300 in the field. So it was a very busy job, very stressful. During that time, I went for my first reading session. I had never felt so good. I left there and I was like, I need to learn how to do this for my own healing as well as for other people. So I started taking the classes. My pain was significantly less as well. So my pain was less, I was much calmer, my stress level was much more manageable. So when I started taking the training, I took it very slowly. Right? You could actually do it over a 4-month period. I was already taking all these other classes still, busy lifestyle. So I took the first level. I'm like, yeah, this is for me. So I kept going. During that time, I had to switch in jobs. That particular job that was restructuring, and I ended up at a job. I was very fearful. I, was kind of a big breadwinner. We had benefits there. All of a sudden, didn't have any benefits. Quite afraid. I had heard of the Ontario Self-Employment Benefit Program through some of my other contacts at the time, but I wasn't ready to take that job. I didn't have the courage. I hadn't done the self-reflection, right? That part of what that did. I was doing everything that I was expected to do, what I felt I needed to do to be the wife and mother. So I took another job. I ended up in a similar job, different workplace. This time I had double direct reports. Ended up being an even more toxic environment for me. My anxiety and stuff, of course, is going up and down. The higher my stress level, the more pain I'm in. So I continued this job for about a year. At the end of that year, of course, more restructuring, I ended up without a job. At this time, this was a blessing. It was definitely needed. I had been burnt out between the previous job. This time it was even worse. This time I knew things had to change. I had to do something different with my life. I couldn't continue doing these high stress jobs and getting burnt out. I wasn't really living. I decided I would do something different. I'd heard about the OSEP. I found myself in the employment office applying for the OSEP. It comes down to it again where I'm like, okay, do I pick the HR? By now I've got a certification in HR. I'm a certified HR professional. I'm also a Reiki Master at this time. Which one do I choose? Do I choose to do the HR? That's a safe job. Or do I choose to do the Reiki? The one that I know is very rewarding for me, and I know that it's good for me. When I actually give Reiki, I actually feel better. So I chose the safe thing. Again, not enough self-reflection, not enough courage to do what I needed to do. So I ended up with starting my HR consultancy firm. It was great. I started with them. They had financial help along the way, right? That's part of the OSEP program. So that was awesome. We get partway through, and I have this time, I'm woken up. So when doing Reiki, we work with spirit guides to help us along the way. So one Sunday, I get woken up in the morning, and I'm having this backup plan in my mind about having a Reiki practice if things aren't working out, right? So I get a download at like 6 a.m. I'm not a morning person. So like 6 a.m. They wouldn't let me go back to sleep until I went downstairs and actually wrote a whole article about this. It was about spirituality in the workplace. My HR brain is going, no, we're not talking spirituality in the workplace. You can't do that. Well, it's a whole different thing, right? Spirituality versus religion in the workplace. Everybody has a spiritual side. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So I wrote a whole article about it. I went back to bed. I actually slept for another couple of hours. I get up that afternoon, and I go to see a friend, another friend that's a spiritual friend. And I had not told her about my morning. I go to leave, and she says, oh, I have a book for you. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. She hands me The Idiot's Guide to Spirituality in the Workplace. I'm like, seriously? We have to get into name calling now? Fine. So spirituality in the workplace becomes a thing. I start reading through the book, flip through it. That Friday, I have my mentor coming from the OSEP program. I have to come and do a site visit. So she comes in, and I've got all my, quality indicators indicator reports, and I got my processes written out, I got my QuickBooks open and all ready. She comes in, she sits down. Keep in mind, I have not wanted to talk about the fact that I do Reiki. I'm too afraid that people are going to judge, right? They're not going to want to hire me for HR if I'm woo-hoo with Reiki. So again, right, not enough courage. So she sits down, she's like, so what are you going to do when the program's over? And if you don't have enough clients, what are you going to do? I'm like, crap. I'm going to have to tell her, do Reiki. She goes, that's perfect. Spirituality in the workplace. That's your differentiator. I'm like, after that, something shifted for me. I felt like, okay, if I can do both, then I can do both, right? I don't have to be either Reiki Master or HR professional. I can actually do both. So I started having the courage to do both, right? So I did the self-reflection about, okay, this is what's happening. I'm like, good, this is my passion. I want to do both. I want to be able to help organizations. I want to be able to help individuals with Reiki. So I'm going to do both. I had the courage to go out and I started talking to people about it at the networking. Because of course I had been doing like a whole bunch of networking to get the HR thing going. I finally started talking about the Reiki. And I started my practice. Well, didn't that pick up as well? It turns out it's a great mix. Really, there's a lot of talk about spirituality in the workplace now. There's a lot of talk about, having meditation and mindfulness. And of course, that's the self-reflection, right? So authenticity is becoming a way to be. We're starting to get away from that judgment of other people. Or at least I'd like to think so. I'd like to think that we're starting to be able to have the courage, and I don't mean fearlessness when I say that. I had a conversation with somebody the other day about fearlessness versus courageous. They're really not the same thing. Fearlessness is actually not having fear. Being courageous is having the fear and doing it anyway. So, I'm not going to stand up here and tell you I made perfect choices through my life. I certainly didn't. But none of us do. We're all human, and we are perfectly imperfect. It's who we are. So I'm really pleased that I'm able to do this and have offer healing information, healing energy, to not only individuals, but also to organizations in that kind of way. Which incidentally is how my logo, which is a willow tree, came about. The willow tree is seen as the tree of knowledge, and it has healing properties. So I bring healing information to organizations and individuals. So I started off in healing as a home support worker, and I'm now doing that in another way. By becoming more authentic and actually taking action on this, my fibro has gotten much better. I don't have the same kind of anxiety I had. My pain is much less. So by following my passion and taking that, having that courage to go forward, it's helped me to help others. So we are all perfectly imperfect.
Thank you, Tanys. That was wonderful. I love what you said about HR and Reiki blending. So my background, I'm actually a CPA by training. So as an accountant, when I started doing comedy, it was an interesting mix. And I think if you go like an accountant with a sense of humor, like the way I walk wasn't weird enough. But I think it's interesting because I find we often try to put people in a box, right? Someone's like the right brain or left brain, and I actually think we all have our analytical side and our creative side. And I can tell you, like, I always find if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, things have a way of working out. If you follow your true path, it's not necessarily to say it's easy, but like I always joke, comedy is actually what I've done. If I look at all the jobs I've had, comedian is what I've done the longest. Not the most lucrative, but yeah, Chris likes that. There's a reason why colleagues do construction and speaking and other stuff. But I think as long as you're doing what you're meant to do, it makes a difference. And I love the fact you guys are talking about, you got restructuring, you lost your job to restructuring. Restructuring is actually, in my mind, one of the best ways to encourage entrepreneurship, because you talked about fear, right? You're afraid to leave your steady paycheck. When the paycheck is no longer there, it becomes really easy to do what you're meant to do, and I think, I'm sure all your clients are grateful that you did get restructured out of the top, because now you're helping all these people. So guys, have another.